Hello and welcome back to our Lord of the Rings LCG solo progression series. And today's quest is the first Nightmare deck in the game. It's Passage Through Mirkwood, which of course was the original quest in the game in the core set. And this is the amped up Nightmare version of Passage Through Mirkwood. And in case you don't know what a Nightmare deck is, FFG released print-on-demand small little clamshells that included, I think, 20 encounter cards. And they were original encounter cards that you could mix into the old and possibly stale at this point. If you were playing this game, you would play quests over and over again while you waited for new ones to be released. It's not like now where everything's available. Well, that's not true. Not everything's available, but you know what I mean. Like you were waiting, and so you would replay quests, and so Passage Through Mirkwood was probably the last thing you wanted to play at this point in the game, and so suddenly you have a way to enjoy it in a fresh way. And usually these Nightmare decks make the quest more difficult, and sometimes they would improve broken mechanics. I'm thinking about like the Dead Marshes, for instance, with the Golem escape. I think I'm remembering that right, the escape keyword. So there were some versions where the Nightmare decks just made them better quests, and especially in the first cycle, I think there were huge improvements on the first cycle in the game in particular. So because this is a progression series, we're playing through each quest in chronological order of the game's initial release. We'll only be using player cards that were available at the time of this quest release. So because we're doing that, because we're playing through everything in order, we will pause from Against the Shadow to play this Nightmare deck. So moving forward, this is going to happen a lot. We'll be bouncing back and forth between cycles because we're actually playing the actual quest in the order of when they were released. So if that's not what you want, I am making playlists where you could watch through entire cycles without having to jump around. So I'm trying to do that, and so you could choose to not jump around, especially if you're not watching this live. If this is months or years later after I've recorded it, you can just watch entire cycles uninterrupted. So this deck I'm calling it Deep Woods Off, and that's because when I was a kid, we used to go not hunting, but camping in the Northwest and the Rocky Mountains, and there were such awful mosquitoes, and we would have this, we had this product that was a mosquito repellent called Deep Woods Off, and it was so smelly, and I can just smell it right now, and it just reminds me of camping, and we always had this nasty smelling stuff on us, but it kept mosquitoes away. And in this quest, we have a lot of insects that are being added into the quest, so it's much more difficult. Let's get to the quest and see how we do. We're familiar with these heroes: Dunhere, Glorfindel, and Denethor. Let's look at our opening hand. It's good because I already have Gleowine, I have Envoy of Pelargir. Let's keep this hand. Definitely a good one. I do like to see Light of Valinor, but we'll hopefully get to it pretty quickly with Gleowine. Okay, before we do setup, we have to look here at this card. This is the Nightmare setup card that came with the Nightmare deck, and there's two sides to it. There's a effect that's going to alter the game, but the setup tells us that you just take the standard quest deck from Passage Through Mirkwood and you remove the bolded cards. You remove them in the quantities listed, so all three Dol Guldur orcs, but only 3 of the 4 spiders. There'll be 1 left in the deck, so it's not like you remove all 4 spiders. You remove these exact quantities. Caught in the Web is completely removed. A few cards we remember, and so this is going to add an effect that makes the quest more difficult. It's going to tell us that during setup, each player reveals 1 card from the encounter deck and adds it to the staging area. So really smart the way they did this. Like, they don't have to reprint the quest card. They just put the effect on this Nightmare card. And some of them, as we move forward, you'll see there'll be some that have multiple effects, but this is just a real simple one. Let's look at Flies and Spiders. You're traveling through Mirkwood Forest, carrying an urgent message from King Thranduil to the Lady Galadriel of Lorien. As you move along the dark trail, the spiders gather around you. For setup, we search the encounter deck for 1 copy of Forest Spider, 1 copy of Old Forest Road, and add them to the staging area. So that's familiar to us. We remember this. If you ever played the game, you played the first quest certainly, And so we are used to seeing these cards in the staging area. And then we have to, due to the setup, it says during setup, each player reveals one card from the encounter deck and adds it to the staging area. That card is going to be Backtrack. It's going to surge, so let's go ahead and do that. When revealed, the topmost enemy or location card in the encounter discard pile is returned to the staging area. So it whiffs, and Forest Flies is revealed, which is a real tough enemy. 27 engagement. Okay, so here's the resource phase, and then let's think about what we want to do. We have 7 threat in staging. We definitely need to use Denethor's action. Let's use him to look at the top card of the encounter deck. It is Chieftain Uthak. Okay. So if I bury him, I don't know what's coming out. If I don't bury him, that's 9 threat. If I don't want to engage Forest Flies, I'm going to need... kind of a hard situation here to know what to do. So Chieftain Effect's not so bad because we probably won't see our threat get up to 35. So I'll just let him come out. It's just the problem is it's just 2 threat in staging, but the next thing could be way worse. So we definitely need to get some willpower in. I don't even know if we can do anything about Forest Flies, but let's try. Let's go ahead and put Envoy of Pelargir into play. When she enters play, we'll add 1 resource to a Gondor or Noble Heroes resource pool. So we'll put it on Glorfindel. And then he can thusly play Ithir Swordsman. Each Outlands character you control gets +1 willpower. And then we're just going to quest with everybody. Well, we're going to quest with Glorfindel. When he exhausts a quest, we raise our threat by 1. We'll quest with Envoy of Pelargir. We'll quest with Ithir Swordsman. I think we're handling this right. Okay, we reveal Chieftain Uthak, and our threat goes up by 3. And now during travel, and I never flipped this over. There's no text or anything on the back. It's just a progress with some text from The Hobbit. Okay, so we're going to travel to Old Forest Road. When we travel here, the first player may choose and ready 1 character he controls. We ready Denethor. So we knew this was coming. We've done this on purpose. During the encounter phase, Forest Spider will engage us because his engagement is 25, so is our threat, but Forest Flies will stay put. Okay, so Forest Spider gets +1 until the end of the round. When he engages us, he's going to get a shadow card. We will defend his attack, 3 attack, with Denethor's 3 defense. Now, the key to this deck is we want to keep our threat low and not have a lot of defending, but if you do defend, you cannot do undefended attacks in this quest. It'll just ruin you. Like this one, for instance, says if this attack is undefended, exhaust all characters you control. So, defending is key, even if it means you have to chump. So 3 attack against 3 defense, Denethor block the attack. And now Dunhere can target enemies in the staging area when he attacks alone. When doing so, he gets +1 attack. So 2 + 1 is 3. And that is 3 damage on Forest Flies. He just took that out. And he had after you engage Forest Flies, deal 1 damage to each exhausted character you control. Really brutal. Okay, so we discard the shadow and refresh. And this boost that Forest Spider got just lasts till the end of the round. So at the end of the round, it goes away. Next round. Okay, let's use Denethor's action to look at the top card. Necromancer's Pass is good. So I have a choice here. I think I could play Gleowine by playing Envoy of Pelargir. I could play Gleowine. I think, though, that what I want to do is just go ahead and play Unexpected Courage, because I think it's going to be really crucial that we defend with Denethor as well as use his action. So next round we can play Gleowine. Let's go ahead and ready Denethor. Okay, we're going to quest with Ithir Swordsman and with Envoy of Pelargir. And we reveal Necromancer's Pass. Our threat goes up by 2. So we're kind of getting up there in our threat. We'd like it to be under, remember the forest flies 27 engagement. We want to keep our threat lower than what we have it right now, but can't deal with it, do anything about it right now. Okay, so Forest Spider will attack for 2. We'll defend with Denethor. And there's no shadow effect. We can attack for 3 and 5 and destroy Forest Spider. All right, refresh. Next round. Let's use Denethor's action. Okay, Necromancer's Reach is not bad. Let me just think. I just readied Denethor, but let me think. Do I want to bury this? The problem with Necromancer's Reach is I'm not ready yet to... I don't want my threat to keep going up, so I need to bury this. And then we'll use Denethor's action again. King Spider. Do I want to bury King Spider? It's not the worst thing that could come out. Let's let him come out. Okay, we're going to play Glaewine, exhaust Glaewine to draw a card. All right. So next round we can start chipping away at the locations with Asphaloth. And I think let's go ahead and play our second Aether Swordsman. So each Outlands character is going to now be boosted by 2 willpower. Okay, we're going to quest. We need to be able to attack back for 3 and 4. He's going to make us exhaust a character. We could defend with done here. So we need to leave 1 Aether Swordsman ready. But golly, our threat's going to be going up if we do that. I guess we don't have to destroy him in one go. I think keeping our threat low is better than destroying him. We can... Yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, we reveal King Spider. Our threat goes up by 1. When revealed, each player must choose and exhaust 1 character he controls. We'll exhaust Envoy of Pelargir. Okay, our threat is at 30, so we still don't have to worry about Chieftain Uthak, but King Spider will engage us and get a shadow card. He's going to attack for 3. We do not want undefended attacks. Let's defend with done here. I don't think there's anything that boosts attack, so 3 against 1. If this attack is undefended, discard all attachment cards players control. That's why you don't want undefended. We'd lose our Unexpected Courage. 3 attack against 1 defense is 2 damage on done here. And now we can attack for 3 and put 2 damage on King Spider. We'll discard the shadow card, refresh, next round. Let's use Denethor's action always first to know what's coming. That's good. We'll draw a card with Glaewine. Okay, let's go ahead and play Envoy of Pelargir. When she enters play, after Envoy of Pelargir enters play, add 1 resource to a Gondor or Noble Heroes resource pool. We'll put that on Denethor, who can now afford Asphaloth. We'll put Asphaloth on Glorfindel. We'll exhaust Asphaloth to put 2 progress on Necromancer's Pass, getting rid of 3 threat and staging. We're out of resources. Okay, we want to quest with our Aether Swordsman, I think. And in fact, probably we'll just chump with... I don't think so. I'll use Denethor. We're about to get another Unexpected Courage out next round, so we'll defend with Denethor. Let's leave our envoys, in play. Let's not sacrifice him quite yet. don't want to quest with Glorfindel because I don't have Light of Valinor yet, so I'll just attack back with Glorfindel. Let's quest with done here. We reveal Abandoned Camp, and we made 5 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I can't travel here. I could, but this is immune to player card effects, so I can't do anything with Asphaloth on this card. It says, Force, after Abandoned Camp leaves play, each player must deal 2 damage to each exhausted character he controls. Because it's immune to player card effects, you can't control when it would leave play, and so I'm just never going to travel here until maybe later on if there's a bunch of Amphalos herdsmen out. So for now, I just have a perpetual 4 threat in staging, which, you can see our willpower is going up, so it's not too big a deal. Okay, King Spider's going to attack for 3. We'll defend with Denethor. If this attack is undefended, discard all attachments. It's not undefended. We'll attack back and destroy King Spider. Refresh. Next round. Okay, we'll draw a card with Glaewine. Okay, there's some good threat reduction. We need that. Again, we can't do anything with this Abandoned Camp. We can't Asphaloth it. Let's use Denethor's action. Okay, Ungoliant Spawn. We definitely want to bury that. It's got a really nasty one revealed. Let's look again. The Spider's Web. I think I'm just going to cancel this with Test of Will. We don't have but just 1 Unexpected Courage out at this point. I think it's better just to play Unexpected Courage or a Test of Will here. Save our resources. And let's go ahead and put out Hinamarth, because that coupled with Denethor, we can just kind of know what's coming. We have a lot more knowledge here. Okay, we're saving resources otherwise. Let's quest. Even with done here. And we reveal the Spider's Web as a condition attachment. We're going to cancel that with Test of Will. And we made 5 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in fact, let's go ahead and play Elrond's Counsel, lower our threat by 3. Boost our willpower, so we made another point of progress. So we did clear Flies and Spiders. And we moved on to a fork in the road. As you move through Mirkwood, hounded by spiders, the forest path forks before you. Unsure of what lies ahead, but spurred by the urgency of your message, you choose a path and proceed. Force, when you defeat the stage, will flip a coin and choose one of there's 2 identical back, chosen paths. Each one is a little different, and so we'll have a kind of a fork in the road here, literally, to see where we go. Okay, we'll use, what's he called? Hinamarth, to look at what's coming. That is a great card to see. Doesn't hurt us at all. Next round, we'll draw a card with Glaewine. And so we're not worried about threat yet, so let's go ahead and put out an Unexpected Courage. We have 2 of these now on Denethor, so we're feeling better about things. If needed, we can use this Dwarven Tomb to recur a Test of Will or a Elrond's Counsel, so that's good. Don't want to play Daron's Runes yet. Let's quest. We can even quest with done here. Okay, we reveal Driven by Shadow. When revealed, each enemy and let me undo the done here. Okay, so each enemy and each location currently in the staging area gets +1 threat until the end of the phase. So that's going to be +2. If there are no cards in the staging area, Driven by Shadow gains Surge. We made 2 progress and cleared a fork in the road. That's why I undid the done here. We don't need the extra point of progress. Okay, so that's until the end of the phase. Okay, so we do, at this point, we flip a coin. And so let's do that. And so we are supposed to go to the tails. And so if you remember the first one, and I just remember it, Dragon Cards has it in a sequential order. The first one makes you have to defeat Ungoliant Spawn. The other, you have to make progress. And it doesn't matter if you defeat Ungoliant Spawn. But we did go to tails. I guess let's just make it where we have to do the Ungoliant spawn thing. Okay, so the trail winds into one of the darkest, most tangled parts of the forest. You sense that a foul, dark presence is hunting you, and you move quickly in an attempt to avoid its evil. And so this says the shadows grow darker, and you realize that a foul presence is aiming to draw you from the path. You must defeat it to pass this way. When revealed, each player must search the encounter deck and discard pile for one spider card of his choice and add it to the staging area. The players must find and defeat Ungoliant Spawn to win this game. So it makes sense to just grab Ungoliant Spawn out of the deck, which is a little bit of a bummer because, all the nasty cards that Denethor buried are now shuffled back into the deck. Okay, he's not revealed, he's added, so we don't have to worry about the when revealed. And his engagement is 32. Our threat's lower at this point, so we don't have to engage him. I don't think I want to yet. Not really quite ready for that. Let's use Denethor's action to look at what's coming. That's not so bad because we can get rid of it in 2 rounds with Asphaloth. But we have a lot of unexpected courages, so let's move that to the bottom. We'd rather see one of those kind of easier locations. Okay, Hummerhorns is good. Done here can kill that with 1 shot. Okay, we will refresh. Move on to the next round. Draw a card with Gleowine. Okay, very good to finally have Light of Valinor. Let's put that onto Glorfindel. And we want to, I suppose, save our resources to play Galadrim's Greeting. I guess the most important thing in the game is Unexpected Courage. Let's just have as many of those as we can. Okay, so we can quest with Glorfindel now without raising our threat. And we reveal Hummerhorns. And we made 3 progress, but we actually only win by defeating Ungoliant Spawn. Okay, so now during combat, we will attack with Dunhere, this Hummerhorns in staging, and destroy it. Because he's attacking for 3, no defense, so it goes to the victory display. And now we can use Denethor. We're still not going to engage Ungoliant Spawn next round. We probably will. Well, we can't afford Galadrim's Greetings, so we definitely will. Let's look at the top card of the encounter deck. We'll bury that. We really want to see the easy locations. We don't want to deal with forest flies because it would engage us. And again, okay, there we go. There's one of those easy locations. Refresh next round. Gleowine draws something good. Okay, so now we do have Daron's Runes, which we can play, draw 2 cards, discard Asphaloth. And very good, we have a Good Harvest. Let's play a Good Harvest to name Tactics. And until the end of the phase, we can spend resources to pay for Tactics cards. Let's spend a resource to put out a Knights of the Swan, which Knights of the Swan boosts each Outland's character for +1 attack. And so I just have a couple of these. And so Good Harvest doesn't exist only for Knights of the Swan in this deck. Sometimes we don't need Knights of the Swan, but it's just mostly there to help with Ungoliant Spawn. But early on, if you need to play Good Harvest to get cards out, to give yourself an advantage, go for it. You don't have to wait to use a Good Harvest on the Knights of the Swan. Okay, progress doesn't matter. I just need to quest so that my threat doesn't go up. Wait, what am I doing? Oh yeah, these guys are boosted. I need to keep from engaging Chieftain Uftax. That's all I care about. So I need to just quest, I think, with... Well, let's quest with Knights of the Swan for sure. And I think that's all I need to do. Because it's only 1 attack. This is 1 attack. But this is 2 willpower. So there we go. We're going to quest with Glorfindel and Knights of the Swan. We reveal Enchanted Stream. Asphaloth exhaust to put 2 progress on a location. And so Enchanted Stream leaves play and our threat goes up by 2. And during the encounter phase, we will engage Ungoliant Spawn. And we'll leave Chief Nithak right there. We're just under his engagement. All right, so Ungoliant Spawn will attack for 5. Let's go ahead and defend with Denethor. We're not worried. There's no shadow that boosts attack. And so 5 attack against 3 defense, we can handle it. So 2 damage on Denethor. Let's ready him. Let's attack back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. There we go. 12 minus 3 is 9. So we defeated Ungoliant Spawn. And it says the players must find and defeat Ungoliant Spawn to win this game. So this one's definitely more difficult than the original, but it's not the most difficult nightmare by any stretch of the imagination. We saw most of the enemies, not all of them. We saw forest flies. You just need to keep your threat low. Our threat ended up getting pretty high, but sometimes I play the game where my threat never, like it's under 20 when I win. But it's pretty hard to engage Dol Guldur Beasts or Chiefs and Nithak. So really, I would say Ranger Spike's the best one to ensnare with Ranger Spikes is Ungoliant's Brood, because it can engage you at 31 more easily, and we don't want to engage Ungoliant's Brood ever. And so that's a great target for Ranger Spikes, as is Spiders of Mirkwood, because we don't want to engage this guy. Also, really hate East Bite Patrol in this quest, but not too difficult. I don't like any of the enemies, really, but let's see here. Locations. We saw how this is just going to stay in staging. We can't really do anything about that, but it's just 2 threat. It doesn't hurt us too bad. These are really easy to deal with Asphaloth. Even this one, just a couple of Asphaloths and this leaves play. No reason to travel there. So that's it. We pretty much saw the quest, how it works. You just have to think ahead and use Denethor and try to determine, what you want to do with your threat. We just made sure, as you could see, okay, we need to not have to deal with Chief Nithak. And Unexpected Courages are the key. Denethor is the key. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the quest and that you'll continue on with me. The next quest will be Journey Along the Anduin Nightmare. So looking forward to that. And thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great day.